Hey, we're back. So, I just watched a portion of that first video, and holy cow, this guy never shuts up and he talks way too much. I apologize for that, everybody. Um, One of the things that I said that I was going to do is that I was going to show you the difference between the old one and the new one, and I neglected to do that. So before we move farther, let's pause for a sec and let's see how this is different than what it was last year. So if you guys are in sixth grade, you actually never saw this stuff from last year. So this will be all brand new to you. Here we go. I'll flip it back over like this so you can see the two side by side. This first page was a good reason why and what inspired us to start over and redo this measurement unit. So originally when I started this, I was trying to focus on maybe having something available for kids so that they could help keep their lines separate and help keep it so that things stay organized. But one of the issues with that was with all these extra grid lines, it made it difficult for you to see when you tried to draw on the lines. Like I just drew a line on there and it's sort of difficult to see that. So I got rid of all that. Today I worked to create a brand new version of our measurement unit packet. I took out some of the things that we don't necessarily need. Like there's an extra practice page right here. Got rid of that. There's a blank page on the back of this one. Got rid of that. Made it so that some of this writing is a little less fuzzy. Everything else, I mean, some of the stuff I kept a lot of it similar, but here's another reason why we had to start a new copy. Okay. Every time we made a copy of a copy, it made it more difficult to see every single time I got a new copy made from it. So when we get to this back page, you're going to notice that there's going to be quite a bit of a difference with the pictures that are on the back of this page. They are literally the exact same pictures. This picture has been copied, I don't know how many times, probably at least 50. I'm not joking. I've used this. I've used some of these. This was the original measurement unit packet I created when I was student teaching back in, I think it was 2007 or 2008, maybe 2009. I think it's 2009. 2008 or 2009 is when this was created. And so it's pretty old. And I've revamped and rethought of some of the ways I teach this now, and I've made it a bit more simple than the way that I used to do it. And so this old packet, it served me well, good friend, but it's time to retire you. Get out of here. I don't want to talk to you anymore. We're with the new stuff now. So that's part of why I created a brand new one, to make it more crisp, make it more clean. Took feedback from students to make it so that it's easier to understand. And here we go. So fraction equivalents. These are all of the what I would call base fractions or our reduced fractions when we are working with our ruler and our tape measures. Mainly we use rulers in here. You could use tape measures, but the tape measures really are not as accurate when we're drawing out things, whether it be our metal boxes or our dustpans or the toolboxes and things that we use. I want to show you something that I created. And that concept of drawing out a ruler literally created this guy that's on top of my head. And I want to have this hanging from the shop. I want to have this hanging from the center of the shop. Still I have eyelets for it that you screw in the top. But this way you guys would be able to see this anytime you needed it. You'd be able to see it. On this side, it's got all of the fractions, including the ones that are not reduced. On the other side, it's got fractions that are at its most reduced form in each one. So it looks like there's a lot more on this side, but it's fraction equivalents. So if I look at 14/16, if we reduce 14/16, it's 7/8. If we reduce 12/16, it's 3/4. If you look up here, 6/8 equals 3/4. So does 12/16. 6/8 actually equals 12/16. We're going to talk about that right here, right now. That's where all of this stuff comes from. So all of the fractions that are on this side, we are going to go through and show you how we get to those equivalent fractions. I'll try to set this up here, have it on as a background. You look pretty slick as we're going through it. You probably won't see it once I flip the camera back over. But I'm going to show you how we get to all of those fractions behind me right now. So I'm going to flip this back over like this. Whoa! Here we go. Okay, let's make it so we can see it. Come on, kid. Get serious here. AF, autofocus. AF, autofocus. There we go. So here's a very simple way to know and learn how to figure out how many answers each one of these will have. Before we start, here's what I want you to do. I want you to write 1/2. I want you to write 1/4. I'd like you to write 1/8, and I'd also like you to write 1/16. These are all of our base denominators that we are going to go through when we are dealing with our measurement. If our fraction that we're going to start with is in the eighths, if we cover up everything except, if we cover up the half, the fourth, and the eighth, it's going to leave us with one fraction left over that we can use. So we're going to go like this, and we're going to put a 16th right here. That means that there's only one answer that we can use for this one. When we get to the next one, it's a fourth, so we're going to back up, so we're covering up the half and the fourth. We're going to have two answers for that one. One answer for this one because we're covering up the eighth again. We're going to have, for the half, we're actually going to have 1, 2, 3 answers. So if we wanted to write this, you'd have 1, you'd have 2, you'd have 1 again, and then you'd have 3. Then you'd have one answer again, then you'd have 2 answers again, and then 1 answer again. So essentially, using our base denominators, we can see how many answers we're going to have at each one. For the fourth, if I cover up that, I know I'm going to have one at an eighth. I know I'm going to have one at a 16th. Before we go any farther, we're going to see how we go through this. What did we have to do to the 8 to make it become 16? 8 times blank equals 16. 2? Hey, good job. 8 times 2 equals 16. So if 8 times 2 equals 16, 2 times 1 is 2. What times 4 equals 8? 2 times 4 equals 8. 2 times 1 is 2. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 1 is 4. So essentially, whatever we multiplied the bottom number to get the common denominator, you're going to multiply the top number to get an equivalent fraction to that. Okay? So if we are at eighths, we already know that eighths is going to have a 16th on it. If we multiplied 8 times 2 equals 16, 8 times 2 equals 16, 3 times 2 is 6. Good job. Next, we have half. So it means we're going to have 3 answers. We're going to have a fourth, we're going to have an eighth, and we're going to have a 16th. So we know that 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 1 is 2. 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 1 is 4. 8 times 2 is 16, 8 times 1 is 8. 2, 4, 8. There we go. Next, we're going to have a 16th here because we're going to cover up everything. We only have 16ths. 8 times 2 is 16. 2 times 5 is 10. Here we have fourths again. So we're going to have an eighth. If we look at the fourths, we're going to have an 8 as a common denominator. And we're also going to have, maybe I'm saying this wrong, math people, I'm very sorry. I hope the gods don't strike me down on my way home tonight. But we're going to have an eighth and a 16th for our answers. 4 times 2 is 16. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 3 is 12. Now, what's this last one going to be? We know it's going to be a 16. Is there a pattern? If we look at all the 16s. 2 16s, 4 16s, 6 16s, 8 16s, 10 16s. Oh my gosh, it's a pattern. 14 16ths. That's one way you could do it. Find your pattern and chase it. Or 2 times 8 is 16, 2 times 2 times 7 is 14. Bam! All the way done. Page 2 is finished. There we go. Those are your fraction equivalents. If you don't understand that concept, totally okay. We'll get it figured out. Here we go. Page 3. I'm not going to do this entire page. I'm going to show you a couple different strategies that you could use to do this page, but I'm trying to get it so I can see the whole thing. Let me figure out how to get my camera to set right. Ooh, that is nice. Nice, Keenan. Okay. So reading is upside down for you guys, reading it right side up for me. Use the completed examples to create 1-inch segments in the 5 rows below. Use the left column, which is right here, to create the eighths. Use the right column to create the 16ths. Notice it's somewhat bigger, so you're going to have more space to write. On this one, with these being smaller, we're only going down to eighths. Okay? So the first thing I would do, if I were you guys, is I would put different numbers so that you'd be 1 digit apart, because we have to show that these are 1-inch segments. Right now, it just looks like, I don't know, a boxcar. So if we put a 2 over here, it means we have to put a 3 over here. If I put a 17 over here, it means I need to put an 18 over here. If I put a 26 over here, I need to put a 27 over here. If I put a 38, I need to put a 39 over here. Okay? Why am I using all these different numbers? Because it doesn't matter. If you're 1 digit apart, you are a 1-inch segment. That's all you got to remember. If we wanted to say, Keenan, stop being a psycho. Why don't you use the same one for continuity? What's continuity? Being everything's the same. So if I erased all this stuff, if you wanted to, you don't necessarily have to do this, but if you absolutely wanted to, if you wanted to make everything exactly the same and be a plain Jane person, you could go like this: 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 1, 0, 2. Ultimately, it doesn't matter which numbers you choose as long as what? They are 1 digit apart. Okay, here we go. So, to make this very simple, here's one thing you could do. You could come through and you could go, and you could do all of the halves all the way down. And because we have the completed version on top, we can actually go down and do this. But I wouldn't do that. That's a silly way to do it. Because if you are creating if you're working on creating a cheat sheet, you're not going to do 7 cheat sheets. You're only going to do 1 cheat sheet. So focus on getting good at doing one thing at a time. You're going to start from the center. You're going to work your way out. Once you have a good base laid, you're going to go from the left and go all the way to the right. So we have a half. Then we're going to divide that half into fourths. So this is going to be 1/4, and this will be 3/4. I know that because it's above here. Then we're going to go like this. We're going to divide each of these sections in half. Notice I'm trying to stay as close to the center as possible. 1, 3, it's supposed to be 3, 5, 7/8/8/8/8/8. You can go through and you could do all of the eighths if you wanted to. You could do the eighths over here, and then you could do the 16ths over here. It doesn't matter how you do it as long as you get it done. The whole point of this page isn't to make you do a lot of work to do a lot of work. What is the point of this page? Anybody have an idea? Why would I make you go through and do 10 1-inch segments? Literally, there's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Why is there 10? Because the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. Okay? I'm not doing this to be mean. I'm doing this so you can get through it. And realistically, does it really take that long if you get the idea of cutting every section in half? It's just like a pizza. If you need to, if you absolutely need to, you could have a pizza right here, right next to it. When you are, that'd be a dumb idea. Flip this one over. There's not really a blank spot on that side. Get a blank sheet of paper or get a Post-it. And as you're cutting it up, use a pizza to keep track of it. You could go like this on the front page of a blank piece of paper like this. We can go like this. So we already did this. We did this. Now we're going to cut each of these in half. I'm going to cut this one and this one in half. Now I need to cut these in half. I'm going to cut this one. I'm going to cut this one in half. There you go. You can do it however you want to do it. But you just need to start in the center, cut your center in half, then cut your 2 segments in half. You'll get 4 segments. Cut your 4 segments in half, and you'll get 8 segments. Cut your 8 segments in half, and you'll get 16. I guess you do like this. Yeah, that would work. So that's basically what you're going to do. To do the 16ths, we'll just do 1 row of 16ths. We're going to go right here. We're going to make this a half. Then I'm going to cut this section in half right here. Go like this. 1/4. Cut this in half. Here's my middle. I'm going to do this 3/4. And I'm going to cut each of these. those 4 sections. I'm going to come here, I'm going to come here, I'm going to come here, I'm going to come here. What's wrong with this? The lines are too close to the same length. Good job. Settle down, Keenan. Just like that. So we're going to go, what's our shortcut? 1, 3, 5, 7, /8, /8, /8, /8. And our very last one, just like this. Hey, got a question for you while I'm doing this. Why'd the chicken cross the road? Honestly, I have no idea. He's probably going to get some rocks for his gizzard or something. Here we go. So, here we go. That was really weird. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, /16, /16, /16, /16, /16, /16, /16, /16. There you go. Could you imagine trying to write on here with a marker or a pen? Pen might be okay, but pencils are the way to go. That's what we're going to go with. Should have enough pencils in the, I should have enough pencils in the classroom. So for this point forward, if you need help on doing page 3 again, just rewind it and go back and do it again. And do it again. If I'm going too fast, you can change the playback speed on YouTube. Click on the gear and click on playback speed and make it go slower. That way you can move at your pace. I'm creating these videos so you can move at your pace. If you want to move slow, move slow. If you want to be quick like a rabbit, make sure you're doing it correctly. It would be a good idea to do that. How do influencers do this? How do YouTubers look into a camera and make this happen every single day? I have no idea. But if you want to do page 3, if you want to go back and look at page 2 with the fraction equivalents, rewind the video, then you'll be in good shape. Okay? I tried to keep this serious the whole time, but I'm probably sleep deprived, which is making me a little bit goofy. I think that should be enough to get you through the entire class period. I did talk a bit on the first video. I'm going to continue to work through this probably when I get home. I'm going to add you guys to your Google Classrooms and then add this to the Google Classroom, add the video to the Google Classroom. I might try to edit it. We'll see what happens. It takes a while to do all that stuff. I'm sure that my wife is probably going to want to go to bed at some point, and she typically goes to bed before I do because I don't always sleep, but we'll see how she goes. I'm going to explain page 4 if you want to get to page 4. Just make it so we do autofocus. There's a big button. Yeah, right there. No, is that it? No. No, that's the light. Hey, there it goes. Okay. Page 4. Page 4 is going to basically, you're going to work through this, and you are going to be basically writing what measurements you see. I'm going to flip this around, and I'm going to explain page 4 before I stop this video. Okay? AF, autofocus. Here we go. So it says, label each ruler under the arrow and circled measurement that you see. Please give the whole inch and fraction when you label each measurement. So if it's after 67, that means we're going to have 67 whole inches, and then we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 8 because there's 8 segments in here. This is eighths. This over here is 1/16. Do you guys know that the ruler will actually tell you what fraction you're on? If we were to look at this ruler right here, do you guys know that? It tells you. Do you guys see the 16? I'm going to pull it up closer so you can see it. Do you know that at the end of the rulers, it will tell you what divisions each edge of the ruler is? Let's see if I can't do it without making it wiggle. I'm trying to get it so it works. Okay, there's a 16. There's a 16 right there. If I move this over here like this, there's actually a 32nd on the other side. If I flip this over, look at that. 8, 16. It will tell you what it is. So if I were you and I were looking at this page 4 right now, I might write an 8 over here, a 1/8 over here. I might write a 16th over here. So you know what divisions each one is. Okay? So you're going to go just like that. When I get to here, I'm at 6 over here. I'm at 7 over here, which means we're past 6 inches. Then we are 1. And how many divisions we have? 16. 6 and 1/16 is our answer for the top of the left column. We go to the next one, 21, 22. We're past 21 inches. Then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 over 8. That looks weird. Oh, because the top number is even. What do we got to do if the top number is even? Divide the top and bottom number by the same number, which is number 2. So then we're gonna go like this. We're gonna put an arrow this way. We're gonna do 21. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So 21 and 3/4 is the same thing as 21 and 6/8. There you go. And that's how you do it. We're past 98 inches. We're not quite to 99. So we're going to go 98, and then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 16ths. So this page is teaching you, if you don't know how to measure, take care of the whole inches first. Get them out of the way. Then count the lines that you have past whatever whole inch you're past. Then you're going to put whatever division you are counting on, that will go on the bottom. If the top number is even, you just reduce them by dividing the top number and bottom number by 2. And that's how you can get reduced fractions. 34 and 3/8. I'll do this last one, and you guys can figure out the rest. So this is going to be 66. It's not quite to 67. Man, do I got to count all that much? How many is this? 16? Oh, if we start here, 16, 15, 15, 16s. So you could count all the way up to here. You could start here. You could go, hey, this is the half of 16. This must be 8. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Look at that. It's so perfect, and it's correct. There you go. Page 1, page 2, page 3, and now page 4 has been explained to you. Look how fast we're flying through this unit. We will actually, honestly, 7th graders and 8th graders, after that page, we're on the home stretch, baby. We are almost done with this unit. Basically, we're going to review everything we've talked about up to here. We'll do this when I get back, hopefully on Friday. So hopefully my wife will be able to stay home on Friday. And then it's going to be somewhat of the same thing, but in reverse. We have our whole inches, and we are going to make what our ruler looks like at that whole inch. It's not complicated. It's not rocket surgery. You should be able to handle it no problem. I believe in every single one of you. We will be able to get this done. If you have questions, shoot me an email, and I will help you out. Sub, if you need to call me, call me. I'm right there. 715. I just told you my number, but I was talking in gibberish. But there you go. Hope you guys all have a good day. I hope you guys all do a good job and work hard, and hopefully we'll cruise to this unit so we can get to build stuff. Like you all very much. Have a good day. Hey, look at that. It's almost the exact same length as the last one.